All right, in this next example, we're going to be using the Pythagorean theorem to solve a real life problem. So in this problem, it says the skyscrapers shown are connected by a skywalk with support beams. Use the Pythagorean theorem to approximate the length of each support beam. So notice here in our diagram, we have this right here. Each individual leg is going to be 23.26 meters. It kind of looks confusing, but that's why I had to redraw it to make it a little bit more clear. So this right here will be 23.26. And then vertically, right over here, we have 47.57. So what are we trying to find out? We're trying to find out what is this missing side length over here. Hilariously enough, it kind of looks like the hypotenuse, because it is. So let's go ahead and use our Pythagorean theorem to solve this. So we know that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And remember, we can only do this for a right triangle. Now let's go ahead and substitute all of these values. A and b are just our legs. So it is 23.26 squared plus 47.57 squared, and it'll equal c squared. Our c value is x, which is the hypotenuse, so I'm just going to say x squared instead. Now let's go ahead and solve this, okay? Obviously, we don't know how to do this in our head unless you are some sort of genius, but I've already done it for us, so let's replace it. 23.26 squared is going to give us 541.0276 plus 47.57 squared is going to give us 2,262.9049, and it should equal x squared. We're trying to isolate the variable x here, but let's go ahead and combine these two values together. If we did that, it's going to become 2,803.9325 is going to equal x squared, but we don't want an x squared, we just want x by itself. So let's go ahead and just square root both sides. So what is x going to equal here? Well, it's going to approximate to about 52. I like two decimal places, so 52.95 meters. Cool. I do want to mention that a lot of the time, you might get repeating decimals or really long decimals. So if you don't want to deal with that, what you can do is that you can just put everything into one equation. So how would I do that? So if I wanted to just solve it right away, I will just do the square root of, and then in parentheses, and I'm going to put the squares in also. So it'll look something like this. So what we did was the 23.26 squared, and then we added it with the 47.57 squared, and then we square root that entire value. And notice here, we still get the same value, 52.95, okay? So just be careful when doing this kind of problem, because you don't want to mess up and put in the wrong kind of a sign or the wrong kind of button. You just want to make sure it's all clean and good to go, and always double check your work, okay? Okay, that's it. Bye.